Hi, I'm Guna Mathivanan. Welcome to Simply Current Affairs. Before going into today's editorial discussion, let us finish the feedback for the question which I gave in the last video. Friends, if you're watching this video series for the first time, then please watch the introductory video given in the playlist to know how to participate in this answer writing initiative. This initiative is open to all. As you all know, I have come up with an exclusive current affairs program and economy full course program targeting prelims 2026. So if you are interested to know more about the details, you can click the link given in the description, or you can visit www.simplycurrentaffairs.com for more information, or you can even WhatsApp the number given in the video. Right. So in the last video discussion, I gave a question. While education and modernization were expected to weaken the caste hierarchies, but have proven remarkably resilient in India. Right? This is going to be an introduction. Introduction is already given here. For this question, you write this intro only. Education, modernization came with an intent of diluting or weakening the caste identities. But however, caste system is remarkably resilient in India. To prove this point, we can supply some fact. The last video only I was giving facts regarding the NCRB data regarding the atrocities against scheduled caste, against scheduled tribes, how many cases are getting reported. Such facts, something can be given to substantiate your viewpoint in the introduction. Then directly go to the main answer. Discuss the factors. Lot of factors. Political factors, poor enforcement of legislations, caste-based marriages, endogamy. Right, like that you can list out even today, but despite of all the education technological advancement, today look at this pathetic scenario. People are using this technology to further strengthen their caste identity. Right? So we are seeing, right, in the advertisement we are going to watch, we see, right, there is dash matrimony. For this particular caste, there you have a specific matrimony. So people are using WhatsApp groups, people are using social media pages for what? For strengthening the caste-based identity. The intention of education is to make the people outlook more modern, but however, caste system is so resilient in India. Right? So highlight the list of factors, then finally you can give conclusion. You can suggest some measures in the conclusion if you want. So we have taken the answer written by Kalaivani. So Kalaivani, your answer looks neat. So you have explained caste is a traditional form of social stratification. You are defining what is caste, which is expected to erode with the spread of education and modernization. But however, despite of various safeguards, it is still influenced because of several intertwined factors. Introduction is very good, very apt. Now coming to your first point. So what are the factors responsible? Social factors. So endogamy, social factors, endogamy. So marrying within the same caste, less than 10% of marriage or intercaste marriage. So this endogamy, this caste-based marriage is also one important reason for the prevalence of caste identity even today. So point taken. Second point, you have given the heading as economic factor, but however your points are something different. See, first point, traditional linkage of caste with occupation. That is again a social factor. Unequal access and distribution of wealth and educational opportunity. These 2 points are correct, but I am not able to find the relevance of subheading economic factor here. But the 2 factors which you have given, that is correct. Right? Political factor, political identities, caste-based consolidation of vote bank. So efforts of government is still not sufficient, still symbolic in nature. Cultural factor, Varna system, caste rituals, festivals. See, what I would suggest is you have 4 subheadings, but you have more than 8 points. You could have better listed like this 1, 2, 3, 4. So it would have given me an impression that you have given 8 factors which are responsible. Okay, please look at the answer key as well. We have also given some more factors, but still it is good. In India, caste has not vanished, it is still modernized. True social transformation is not just legal or educational change, but a moral and cultural reorientation focusing on equality, fraternity, dignity. Your answer is good. Your answer is definitely good, definitely neat. Handwriting is good. Just the second point, economic factors, subheading was not so suitable for the points which you are giving it below. Apart from that, as I said, you could have listed the points as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's all. Nothing else. Very good answer. Right? So yes, now we will move on to today's editorial discussion. So today we have taken editorial topic from the Hindu, which deals with global oil prices. See, if you look at some consequential foreign trends, global trends, which impacts on India, immediately what will come to your mind? So if you look at consequential global trend which impacts India, some global issues which impacts India, what immediately comes to your mind? We will talk about trade war, Trump tariff policies, Russia-Ukraine war, Israel-Hamas war. Okay, so we will be coming across all these items, but there is one more trend which is brewing up, which can have a potential impact on the prospects of India. If everything goes well, this new issue which is brewing up could be a tailwind for our progress. Sir, what is tailwind? These terms you have to understand. Headwind, tailwind. So, headwind is a term which is used in the editorials generally to highlight the challenges. So if there is a headwind, that will not allow you to move forward easily. If there is tailwind, then that wind is going to help you to move forward easily. So headwind is going to be a challenge, tailwind is going to be an advantage. So now a trend which is brewing up, which is emerging with respect to global oil prices, if everything goes well, that could be a potential tailwind for our progress. That is what this article is trying to highlight. What is that, sir? See, you have to understand, India is the third largest oil consumer in the world. Every year, we are importing huge amount of oil. Almost 88% of our oil needs are met through imports. Almost 14 trillion rupees worth oil we have imported last year. So significant amount of money we spend on importing oil. We are import dependent with respect to oil, crude oil I'm referring to. Right. So now in this backdrop, you try to understand the issue which is growing up. See, number one, with respect to supplies, suddenly we are able to see huge supplies of oil coming from different corners of the world. Not a sudden thing, recent trend I would say. See, because of technological advent, because of technological improvement, USA, Canada, Brazil, that is non-OPEC countries. OPEC we all know, oil and petroleum exporting countries. So leave the OPEC countries because they are the traditional players who will be exporting huge amount of oil. Leaving the OPEC countries, the non-OPEC countries like USA, Brazil, Canada, with the help of horizontal drilling, they were able to effectively explore their shale gas resources. Put it simply, non-OPEC countries today, they are producing a lot of oil. So supply is increasing. Okay, when supply is increasing, the oil price will come down. This is one problem. When supply is increasing, oil price will come down. This is one issue which is going on. Okay, this is not an issue for India, but this is an issue for oil producing countries. Okay, so for India, when oil price comes down, we'll be very, very happy. You should know, if the oil price get reduced by $1, if oil price gets reduced per barrel, 1 barrel oil price gets reduced by $1, India will save close to $1.6 billion. That much money we will be saving. You have to understand. Right? So keep this in mind. One side, because of the non-OPEC countries, they are producing large amount of oil. There is oil surplus. Because of that, oil price is coming down. Not just non-OPEC countries. Some of the OPEC members like Saudi Arabia, they are also ramping up their production. Because Saudi Arabia, many OPEC nations like Saudi Arabia, during the COVID time, they were reducing their production. Almost most of the OPEC countries, during COVID time, they were reducing the production because the demand was less. The demand was less, lockdown, no industries are functioning. So the demand was less, oil production was cut down. So now, Saudi Arabia, they wanted to increase their oil production so that they can have a greater market share. So one side non-OPEC countries, they are producing more. Another side, Saudi Arabia, they are also, particularly Saudi Arabia, because they are biggest oil seller, they are also producing more, huge amount of supplies. Now you might ask, sir, because of this more oil production of Saudi Arabia will face loss, right? Of course, Saudi Arabia will face loss because more supply means oil price will come down. But Saudi Arabia fears that whether they will be losing out the market share, because for a long time their production was less. That is post-COVID, I am saying. So even now, if they are going to produce less, then they will lose out the market share for which they are producing more. So one side, supplies are high, oil prices coming down. Look at the demand side. See, IMF report is suggesting that in the coming year, there is going to be a slowdown in the global growth. There is going to be a slowdown in the global trade. That means particularly developed countries, there is going to be an economic slowdown. They are reaching some stagnation. At least next to next year, the global growth, particularly from the developed nations, is going to be stagnant. It is going to get reduced. So the demand from the developed countries is going to come down. See, another side, the global south, the developing economies, or the least developed or medium income, low income countries, the global south, right? So their consumption is increasing, but their increased consumption is not enough to match the loss which the developed countries which are going to produce. Developed countries, they were buying significantly, but IMF projection says in the coming years there is going to be a slowdown in the development of in the growth of the developed economies. So developed economies, they are going to reduce their consumption. That reduction in consumption cannot be compensated by the global south purchase. Global south purchase is increasing, but that is not sufficient. So first point we said, supply is high, significantly high. Second point, we are saying the demand is low. Supply is more, demand is low. So definitely the oil price is going to come down. Apart from that, see, globally, because of the climate change, we are actively depending on renewable energy sources. We want to shift from these fossil fuels. We want to shift from these hydrocarbons because it is very, very polluting. So there is a global shift towards renewables. There is a global shift towards electric vehicles. So once again, the demand for the hydrocarbons is going to come down. Another problem, supply is more, demand is less, global outlook is also poor. The global mood is also towards renewables, clean energy transition, electric vehicles, right? And also, if you look at the forecast, projection, the demand for the oil projection, that is even more confusing. According to OPEC countries report, they are saying that in 2026, there will be a shortage of crude oil by almost 50,000 barrels per day. OPEC countries, petroleum exporting countries like Saudi Arabia and all, they are saying that, see, today oil price is coming down, but tomorrow oil price will increase, and they are expecting that next year, despite of all these points which I have explained, they also knew it. But they are coming up with a version saying that in 2026 oil price will increase because there is going to be shortage of supply. There will be shortage of supply close to 50,000 barrels per day. Right? But however, International Energy Agency, they came with a report. They are saying that in 2026, there will be a surplus of 4 million barrels per day. There will be a surplus of 4 million barrels per day. Right? So, we do not know. The variation is so high. International Energy Agency says there is going to be a huge surplus. So, that is going to definitely reduce the oil price by at least 20%. IEA says, but OPEC countries not agreeing to it. But when we look at the entire discussion, we are able to understand today also the oil price, when compared to last year, this year the oil price have come down. Right? So tomorrow also the oil price is going to come down. 26 also the oil price is going to come down. So when oil price comes down, that is going to be a very big advantage for India. How it is going to help India? I said already, when oil price gets reduced by $1 per barrel, that is going to save $1.6 billion per year. That much money we can save. Our current account deficit will be getting reduced. Our balance of payment position will be improved. Our forex reserve will be protected. Right? When the oil price comes down, the impact on inflation also will come down. Government subsidy on this oil products will also come down. So this is going to help the government's fiscal balances. Right? Apart from that, see today Russian oil is cheaper. Because of that we are buying more from Russia. But when the oil price comes down globally, when many countries the oil price comes down, then we are not going to depend only on Russia. We will have diversified partners which will not irritate USA, which will help us to cement the relationship with USA. Right? So that is diplomatic advantage also. But at the same time, there is not a challenge, but at the same time, this tailwind is not going to be permanent. This phenomena is going to be temporary. If you look at the history of the oil prices, there is volatility which we are seeing for a longer time. Today it is going to increase, tomorrow it might come down. In 2016 also the price was so low. In 2008, 9, 10 the price was so high. So this variation is going to be there. So this variation is temporary. So India should not feel so satisfied, and India should not become complacent. India should make use of this tailwind. India should make use of this advantage and try to speed up the progress. But what is sustainable? See, we have to ensure that we are having sufficient strategic petroleum reserves. So when oil becomes cheaper, buy more and maintain sufficient strategic petroleum reserve. Number one. Number two, diversify your oil suppliers. Don't depend on one. See, when oil price comes down, our dependence on Russia might slightly come down. Okay, so use the opportunity, diversify the partners. Number three, see, it's always better we reduce our oil consumption. Almost 88% of our oil needs is met through imports. That is not good. So we have to reduce our consumption. So we have to move towards an alternative energy. So that we are doing it effectively, but we have to further speed up, strengthen. We should not feel happy, satisfied, and we should not continue to depend more on the crude oil. So these efforts has to be taken. Only then we will be having a long-term advantage. Apart from that, this situation is a tailwind, no doubt in that. Right? So yes, this is about today's article. Now, based on our discussion, I have given a question here. Despite the immediate fiscal and macroeconomic relief, low crude oil prices for India, excessive dependence on them creates long-term vulnerabilities. Elaborate. Right? That is, in short term, today there is going to be a relief. But excessive dependence, that will create long-term vulnerabilities. Right? Elaborate. This is a question. So 10 marker, 150 words. Write the answer and mail it to me at upsc@gunasir@gmail.com. So once after sending the mail, in the comment section, please mention that you have sent an email. Right friends, I will see you tomorrow with another interesting editorial topic. Till then, bye. Take care from Guna Mathivanan.